Hi everybody! Rodney Hart here from Second String Music in Quincy, Illinois. Actually, I'm not at Second String Music in Quincy, Illinois. Like a lot of small businesses, we've been shut down due to the stay-at-home order. So, my wife Cheryl and I, who have owned the business for about 9 years, are not working right now. And I have many guitar students, and I am not giving very many guitar lessons right now. Stay home, stay healthy, we'll get through this thing together. But the Quincy Public Library has asked me to give you a beginner guitar lesson because you've been quarantined. If you're not an essential worker, and God bless you if you are, but if you are not an essential worker or you're in school and you're off right now and you're looking for things to do, well, maybe playing the guitar, that might be on the list. Maybe you even have a guitar. Maybe your Uncle Rick or Uncle Bill or somebody gave you a guitar and it's just been sitting there in the corner. Maybe it's time to take a look at this thing and first of all, see if it's playable. And secondly, let's start strumming and playing. So I'm here to give you a beginner guitar lesson. I've been teaching for a long time, full-time for more than 8 years. Picked this thing up, or a guitar like this, almost 40 years ago to start learning, and I don't know this much about it. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is a instrument that has a lifetime of learning, but we got to start, right? We got to start somewhere. So I'm going to give you, with the Quincy Public Library's blessing, a free beginner guitar lesson. Let's start with the guitar. Make sure it's the right size. This is just a regular dreadnought style guitar. This is my beloved Takamine, which is a very nice acoustic guitar. Try to get something that will fit you. Generally speaking, if you're older, if you're in your mid to late teens, get yourself a regular size acoustic, but make sure that it fits. I do prefer you start on an acoustic. You can start on electric if you want. You'll develop better habits on the acoustic guitar. If you're a little bit younger, you might want to go with a smaller size guitar, half size or 3/4 or travel size, folk size, something like that. I do not recommend that you start on what we call a classical guitar. That will have the open headstock right here and the nylon strings. The nylon strings might be a hair easier to press in, but the necks on those guitars are generally, excuse me, a lot wider and a little bit harder to get your hand around. So get yourself a decent guitar to get started. Make sure the strings are in good shape. Make sure they are not way off the fretboard. In other words, they're nice and close to the fretboard. And we're off and running. Get yourself a pick if you want. This is a lighter pick, 0.60 millimeter Dunlop pick. Don't get anything too really thick or heavy, otherwise you'll just bounce off those strings. All right. One more tip. When we're doing this and you're getting all fired up and you're starting to play and all of a sudden you go, ow! Yeah, your fingers will start barking at you. Woof. They'll start hurting. When you first get started, there's nothing you can do to avoid that. My only advice to you is when you're done playing, put some rubbing alcohol on the tips of your fingers. That'll dry them out and leather them up a little bit. And it will help make them callus up a little bit better. All right, so let's get started. We're going to take our fingers. We're going to turn them sideways. We're going to hook. See the hook? See the hook? See the hook? That's the key right there to putting your fingers inside the guitar. That's the key. You're going to take your pointer finger. That's your pointer. That's your middle. That's your ring. We are not going to use the pinky right now. That comes later. Pointer finger, 5th fret. Boom. Right there. 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5th fret. We don't want to have this pinky or our pointer finger too far in front like this or too far back. You want it to be a little bit over halfway. Nice big hook. You press in till you hit the wood. Pluck down. There you go. Okay. We're making our first noises on the guitar. Yay. Down. Going to take the ring finger now, and we're going to go to the 7th fret. Pluck up. Down, up, down, up. Yeah? Is that making sense? Whoop. Down, up, down, just like that. Down, up. Alternate your picking. Hold your pick like this. Pointer finger, thumb. There you go. Down, up with your pick. Down, back up. And then let's do that on each string. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Do not concern yourself with how fast you do this. That is irrelevant. Speed means nothing. I'm going to show you a little something here. Ooh, look at how fast he was doing that. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't take a lot of skill to do that. It takes a lot of practice. It really does. But that's not that hard to do. Put some time in and you'll be able to play like that. I'm not a very good lead guitar player either. There are guys, great guitar players out there who I just want to throw this thing into the river when I see them play. And locally, we have some amazing, very talented guitar players. I am not going to be the greatest of lead guitar players, but I will tell you this. It's all about rhythm and tempo. Rhythm and tempo. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's way more important than rhythm and tempo. There's our first drill, 5/7 drill. Let's learn a song, shall we? Let's learn the dreaded, the infamous, I'm going to make you learn Smoke on the Water. Now, if you need to, you can slow or stop the video and write all this stuff down. Not that hard. Only on the top string, okay? Top string, top string. That's the E string. We're going to take our pointer finger to start. We're going to put that on the 3rd fret. That's my first note. That's a G. That's the first note. 3, 6, 8. 3, 6, 9, 8. 3, 6, 8, 6, 3. Alternate your picking, down, up. If you can, take it nice and slow. This is much better than this. Take it nice and slow, nice and steady. There you go. 3rd fret, or excuse me, 3rd fret of the E string. 3, 6, 8. 3, 6, 9, 8. Start with your pointer finger. You can experiment a little bit with the other fingers you use, but try to use your pointer and then your middle and your ring. When you go from 9 to 8, you can just slide it in, slide it out, whatever. All right. So you've learned how to play Smoke on the Water. How about a couple of chords? A couple of easy peasy chords. To start on the guitar, we're going to basically learn 5 open major chords. Your A, your C, your D, your E, and your G. I think I got that right. A, C, D, E, G. That is a couple of lessons down the line before we worry too much about the chord shapes. If you learn those 5 basic chord shapes, and I know you're looking and going, oh, look at those, all that stuff. It's not that hard. Just a little bit of practice, and you're in like Flynn. You got it. You learn those 5. A lot of the other stuff that we do, especially at the beginning, is just a variation of those 5 chords. But let's play 2 in a row here together. Okay? Okay. Let's start with the E minor guitar chord. There it is. What we're going to do is, this top string, the E, is open. You're not putting a finger on that string, it's just open like that. You're taking your pointer finger, you're putting it on the 2nd fret of the string right below that, the A string. You're taking your middle finger, you're putting that on right below the pointer finger. On the 2nd fret of the D, the other 3 strings are open. Excuse me, E minor. Got a frog in my throat, sorry about that. E minor, E minor, E minor. A little bit of strumming is a whole nother lesson in itself, but use a little bit of wrist here. Try not to use too much of your arm. A little bit of wrist, and try to glide over the strings. Brush them, right? At first, you're going to go like this. That's okay when you get started, but try to give it a quick motion and try to brush those strings. All right, let's learn how to play a version of the A chord. It's almost exactly the same as the E minor. All you're doing is taking these two fingers, dropping them down to the floor, one string each. E minor, dropping them down one string each to the A. In this case, you do not play the top string, you just play that A string right there. Your pointer finger's on the second fret of the D, your middle finger's on the second fret of the G, the B and the E below that are open, and you just give it a strum. The technically correct way of doing it is to also put your finger on the second fret of the B string, like that, but we can do this. E minor, A. E minor, A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that sounds like a song, doesn't it? Yeah, there might be a song or two in there. All right, and the last thing I'm going to show you for your first beginner guitar lesson, this is a lot of stuff going on here, hey, right? Okay, we're just going to compress it, make it easy for you. Let's tune our guitar, shall we? I've got a handy dandy snark on the end of my guitar. You can see it right there. See that? Yep, and you can see that light going off and on. That tells you what the string is, and if you hit the green, you are in tune. You don't have to have a snark. You can get on your phone and download an app for a tuner if you want. They aren't very good, but it would work. Or you can learn to do it with your best friend, your ear. Your ear. We're going to get this string, let's say that's an E, we're in tune. Take your guitar, play it till you're in tune. You use these to go back and forth to make sure you have it in tune. If you don't have a lot of experience with the guitar, don't mess with these tuners, as we call them, a whole lot. Don't. Because you'll tune it way too high, and then the string will snap, and then it's all fun and games until someone puts an eye out. So don't mess a whole lot with these. Let's say, though, this E is in tune. Take your pointer finger, put it on the 5th fret, pluck that note right there, pluck the open string underneath it. Oh, it's the same. That means it's in tune. And also what you're going to do here, see the pointer finger? See the nice hook there? I don't want it down like this so it's hitting the other string. I want it up here so it's not hitting that string. Okay, drop it down to the A, 5th fret, play the A and the D. Drop it down to the D, 5th fret, play the D and the G. Now when I get to the G, I gotta go back, what we call a half a step, to the 4th fret on that G. The reason is it's tuned a half step different from all the other strings just to mess us up. I think that's why they did it. Anyway. Yeah, that on the 4th fret, and you see I didn't have my finger hooked there, and I was clunking it. Hook that finger in. There you go. Back to the 5th fret on that B string. Play that open E. There's just a couple things to kind of get started. I highly encourage you to goof around for as much as possible. And remember, after a little while, your fingers will start to bark. Woof, woof. Stop playing. Stop, stop, stop. Go do something else. Come back a little while later and keep going. If you can put 10 or 15 minutes at a time in at the beginning, you're on your way. You do that 2 or 3 times a day. Look at all this time you're investing, and you are going to get better. If you have any questions about the guitar, about beginner lessons, about anything at all, give me a call at Second String Music, 217-223-8008. 217-223-8008. We're not there right now because of the quarantine and the stay-at-home rule, but we do check the phone and we do check our messages. We'll be glad to chat with you. Thank you so much for hanging out. This thing is so much fun. It's not easy. It takes some time and some effort and some practice, but it is so much fun. It's a lifetime of learning and enjoyment. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Quincy Public Library, for letting us hang out and doing a beginner guitar lesson. Stay safe, everybody. Thank you.